We've also got a bunch of other games to talk about here. Another one they showed off, they started the show off with, actually, was Doom. I was left a bit cold with this one. What did you think, Lucy?
I was excited because they said it was id Tech 6, or 666 as they call it, and I was like, so I was just spending the whole thing like looking at it, and then I was like, it looks pretty.
Didn't look that pretty.
If it was okay.
No.
What did you think about the locomotion in it, Kevin?
Was it supposed to be fast?
So Doom has always been, it feels way more fast than that to me.
Yeah, like I don't know, like it just felt thing.
I think for the demo though, I mean obviously when you play Doom it is incredibly fast paced and whatever, but I think for a demo you can't put that on screen because if you're showing off your engine as well, especially for the first time properly, you want to be able to say to people, look at all this crap we built. Like look at it. Look at how good it looks.
Well,
so
and
you're not going to appreciate this when you play it. Look at it now.
Every time he lifted up a gun, I was like, "Oh, look at the gun! Are you getting hard looking at the gun now?" It's
I did like that animation.
Like,
so this
when you were ripping it off a dead body and the guy was, like there was force behind the guy. I liked that.
So this was the demo they showed afterwards, but the original part of this that they showed off was on a straight up like old Mars base. Like this is definitely based within the same world that they're going for with Doom 3 in terms of the UAC holding a base and then the hellscape opening up. If we can get some footage of that, it'd be great. That whole section that they showed off introduced a bunch of the weapons that were on offer. They showed the shotgun, the super shotgun. They also showed off a lot of these contextual deaths that they kept showing. But
a lot of environmental stuff as well.
Was it
like
just
really big explosions by shooting things in the environment, which was cool.
Was it just me, or did you guys think that they were repeating a lot of those death sequences over and over again?
I saw quite a few of the one where they rip off the leg and hit him in the head with it. I thought there was a lot of repetitiveness, I think, in the gameplay.
The one where it was just like the leg left standing and the half body.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that
like
the one you mean?
running.
Yeah, it was just a bit.
It's weird because he was plowing through so many of these characters. Like it was almost felt like something like Bulletstorm where you're just soaking these dudes up. And for me, like I know that when you go back and think about Doom 1 and 2 now, they're not the scariest games in the world. But those games had an element of like, this is hard. Like it's me up against hordes and hordes of enemies. And if you're setting it right, you're in a difficulty that actually feels like it's challenging. Obviously they can't, show that off at a conference and have you dying over and over again. But there's something about this that just seemed like, it felt like more like Serious Sam. And Serious Sam was on the ridiculous end of that sort of combat shooting.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that a lot.
I'm just bored by a lot of this, honestly, and I feel bad because I know that some of my Twitter feed was like, oh, it's exciting, and look at all the gore, and then some more of the look at the gore, and also, did you notice the blood? And and I'm just like, this is first-person shooter, the first-person, like,
this is the first-person shooter.
The first-person shooter, the first-person shooter. Like, it's just is what it is, and I just kind of expected more, I guess. It doesn't mean that I don't think a game can just be, it's okay for a game to just be fun. But I'm just looking at it thinking, but what is it that this is bringing me that I can't already get in Painkiller and a bunch of other games that just feel very much like this?
It felt to me like the type of game that's been passed through a bunch of different public testing and just rounded off because not only like they're returning all these games like that BF3 1000 whatever's back there, like they're showing off the plasma gun, they're showing off all of these guns, and they all looked like the same great thing that was basically shooting projectiles. There was no feeling of, oh, this is different, like there was in so many of those games. Like Quake 2 is like the best grenades in video game ever. Like the railgun. You think to me, or this felt more like a Quake. I even said Quake there. This felt more like a Quake in terms of your ability to just mow down tons and tons of enemies. Yeah, I don't know. To me, this didn't feel like a Doom at all.
And I was thinking of Unreal during moments like this where he's just switching between the different types of weapons and thinking, oh, that's kind of like a little bit like Unreal Tournament. So
regardless of our impressions of the gameplay, they showed off some other stuff. Snap Map, which is their new technology Snapchat for sending dick pics around the world in Doom. For making levels, which in and of itself is a little bit worrying if they're making modular level design for a game that invented.
Although I think that's cool, and that they're trying to introduce that to a new audience, like console especially. I think that's cool. And if the toolkit works and if it's intuitive enough, then people will obviously jump on it.
Outside of that,
it works.
They showed off some multiplayer things as well. They had a 4-on-4 mode in there. They had wave-based mode in there. It was about the time I was starting to fall asleep.
You mentioned cooperative modes.
Yes.
Was that the wave-based one?
And they said 2016 as well. And this is part of, so it's coming out next year. Maybe we'll see more of it. Maybe being a little bit rough on it. I don't know. I came out of that as a massive Doom fan, thinking that wasn't too hot. Also, this is part of BethesdaNet, which is their new
WB Play.
We need more of those.
Exactly, their new Origin, their new Battle.net, which is an online environment in which all of these games will be launchable and whatnot. I don't know. I was glad they finished with Fallout because for me, the Doom announcement wasn't too hot. Final thoughts on Doom, Alexa?
I don't think I've seen enough to really be like, woo, yet. I mean, it looks fun, but beyond that,
it's there.
It's there. Game.
All right, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let us know what you think of Doom in the comments. Are we being a little bit too tough on it? Were you disappointed as well, or did you think it looks pretty badass? Let us know down below.